Hi guys, okay, so I just wanted to address some emails and some comments that I've been getting. God bless you all, you're very, very kind. I have managed to, on this channel, gain a few of my followers that I used to have in a previous channel that I had, which was also called the Queen of Freedom, but different content to this, content that certainly wouldn't have been monetized. Now, I've been getting comments and emails lately. I've just had an email about an hour ago, so it's just prompted me to make this video. People saying, God bless you all. Queen of Freedom, where have you been? We've followed you from, the L Downs, 2020. You disappeared. We wondered where you'd gone. Are you okay? Guys, you are also very, very kind. Let me just quickly say, I am more than okay. I'm absolutely better than I've ever been. Yes, I did disappear, if you like. I had to disappear, guys. Not because I was controlled, like some people like to say, oh, she was a shill, she was controlled. If you want to think that, that's absolutely fine. Whatever helps you to sleep at night. But I know the truth. I don't need to justify anything to anyone. I disappeared from the whole activism that I was involved in 2020, 21, 22, going into 23. I did have to take a break from that, guys, because I was flat out at that whole thing for 3 years solid. From March 2020, from the shit show hitting us all, I was flat out, okay? Doing my own thing and dealing with that, plus helping other people. I had several platforms, all of which the first ones got took down, the ones I already had, which were, your usuals, your meta sites, yeah. I had all them, kept my business open, had all that shit to deal with, had councils to deal with, had the government to deal with, and then I was fighting my own battles as well. So then I went on Telegram, I went on YouTube, I had another channel called Queen of Freedom. And some of you know the stuff that I was doing and the truths that I was talking on there and helping people. Now, that is an amazing thing to do and something I'm very, very proud of and something that I stand by and still believe to this day. However, that whole thing was very, very draining for me, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because that whole movement over there wasn't our movement, guys. It was massively controlled from day one. And without us realising it, we were all controlled, because we know the psyops that the media like to throw at us and the distractions. They're very, very clever. They know what they're doing. They have a group of psychologists. They know how people are going to react to the latest psyop that they're going to throw at us. And yes, we all fell for it all up line. But, again, I don't regret any of it. I had to take some time away to focus on me. But I will say this. I 110% stand by everything that I said, everything that I did, and I live that truth, my truth that I used to put out there. Might not be everyone's truth, but it's mine. I live that truth now on a day-to-day basis, and I've spent that time, in the time that I've been disappeared, if you want to call it that, I've spent that time clearing up stuff in my old life and moving into this new life of full-time van life, off-grid living. So I'm walking the walk, guys. I'm not just, I've not spent the last 5 years talking the talk for nothing. I'm now walking walk. So, and I will say this, the best thing I've ever done. I always knew that I was going to do something with it. I always knew that as well as helping people, there was more to this. There was something, there was another path leading me somewhere. Didn't know where at the time, but now I do. So I absolutely do not regret anything from the last 5 years, even though there might be some things that I've done differently. Don't regret any of the experiences, any of the people that I met, because it's all brought me to the beautiful little world that I live in now. So yeah, rest assured, guys, I 110% I'm here, I'm still here, I'm still around, I'm still living my truth, the truth, on a day-to-day basis, and I'm as much out of the system as you can be. Now, it's impossible to get completely out of the system. We've all been there going, I want to get out of the system. it's near on impossible to get completely out of the system, okay? And it's not about getting out of the system anyway, because the system is not bad, it's just the people within it that have made it bad and infiltrated it. Excuse my dog, another dog going past. But it's about learning to play the game within the system. That's what it's about. It's one big game. Yeah, the world's a stage. It's learning how to play the game and using, you know, without getting too deep into it, the legal and the lawful to your own advantage. We can play legal when we want to play legal, when it's going to suit us. The rest of the time we're lawful. Yeah, well, all of the time we're lawful, but we play the legal game when it suits us. And that's exactly how I live my life now. So we are, whether we like it or not, in that system. We've all got the birth certificate, we've all got the person attached to us. You're never going to get rid of that. You've got the living man or woman, and you've got the person, unless you've got confirmation from the Vatican that you're no longer floating on the stock exchange, and you are in the system, okay? We all are in the system. We all use phones, we all use cash, which, yes, cash is king, it's uncontrollable. However, it's legal tender, so we're still in the legal system, yeah? Near on impossible to get completely out of it. But as far as, you know, living in the world of working 9 to 5 and paying taxes, paying bills, paying rent, mortgage, council tax, all that business, I'm out of all that. I'm out of all that. Now, I always, you know, I do try and help people as much as I can. But again, and I've said this before, most people still live in fear. Now, I see these people, they are addicts. They are addicted to the fear. That you know, and not through any fault of their own. I was like that for, you know, many years of my life. I was like that, worried about the consequences. And even when I started doing what I started doing in 2020 and 21, you know, stopping paying all the legal rubbish and, well, civil rubbish, I had a bit of fear as well. You know, I'm not going to say I didn't. You know, when you get that first debt collector knocking on your door, you do have, you know, it's the anticipation. You do have a little bit of something going on. Of course we do. You know, it does. But the knowledge is power, and using that knowledge and applying that knowledge is where the wisdom is where the power is. So the more you do it, the more you practice it, and the more knowledge you gain, the more confident you become, the more you do lose the fear over time. It's a process. You don't just read a book or watch a YouTube video and go, right, okay, I've lost the fear now, that's it, okay, well, let's do this. It doesn't quite work like that. It is a process, and it takes time. For me now, after 5 years, guys, by the way, doing this, I'm only now in a place where I wouldn't even engage with any of these legal entities. You know, there'd have been a time I'd have had an argument with a parking warden. There'd have been a time that I'd have argued the toss about council tax, you know, and I did it all lawfully, did it all legally. I made conditional offers to all the companies and corporations. Provide me the contract, I will pay said, you know, whatever it is you're claiming. Obviously that never happened, so, you know, I never paid, but I never refused to pay either, because I knew the right way to do it. But again, I did that without any fear, and that's where you've got to be. Sadly, a lot of people still live in fear. And until they can accept that there's a problem and that, you know, they need to change, they want to change, no matter what we or anybody else says to them, unfortunately, guys, we can't really help them. We are flogging a dead horse, if you like. So now I do concentrate on the people that really want the help, and I live my truth on a day-to-day basis, and everything I've done in the last 5 years, I'm standing by, and like I said, I'm here, I'm living van life, I'm walking walk as well as, you know, still talking talk. Just because I'm not shouting about it over every platform on internet anymore, I'm still here. I've not gone anywhere. The Queen of Freedom is still very much, you know, stronger actually than ever. And we are all kings and queens, remember that. You know, the people think it's arrogant that I call myself what I call myself. My name's Hayley. I don't hide behind a pseudonym. It was just my name that I used before, okay? Everybody knows who I am. I put my face out there, put my name out there. Queen of Freedom was, you know, we are all kings and queens, and once we learn that, you know, it's not a thing of, it doesn't come from a place of ego or arrogance to be able to call yourself that. So God bless, guys, every single one of you that's asked, you know, said, where did I go, where did I disappear? I did just have to take some time out to bring myself to this world that I'm in now, but I'm very much here, living the dream, walking the walk, as well as still talking the talk. And as you can see, wherever I can get away with it on my YouTube channel, I do still put truths out there. But all the other stuff, it's been done a million times. I don't need to do it anymore. It's still getting done. You know, if people aren't awake now, sadly, I think the fact of the matter is they're probably never going to be. So me still sat making videos about council tax or debt collectors, it's no longer relevant to my world. I was making videos about that when I was dealing with all that myself, and at the same time it helped people, which I'm so thankful I was able to do. But it's all been done, and like I say, if people a year ago, 2 years ago weren't willing to make the change, they're not going to do it now. I hear so many people, and I probably hear it on a daily basis in real life and in my comments section, people saying that, you know, they're going to buy vans, they're going to live van life, and 98% of these people probably never will. But, you know, again, we've all got a dream. I had a dream once, but a dream without a plan stays a dream. But once again, guys, thanks for checking in. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm here. If you want to share my channel around the social sites and Telegram and whatever, you're more than welcome to, so that people know I am still around. I'm not on any other platform now, certainly not on Telegram. That was one of the most toxic platforms going. But again, I don't regret anything. It's all brought me to where I am today. But thanks again for checking in, guys. I'm very much here, very much well, and there'll be plenty more content to come on the new Van Life Queen of Freedom channel. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.